The unmistakable sound of Turkish innovation in the skies. Turkiye's defense industry is building its military might, and while at it, it is capturing global attention. Less than 20 years ago, Turkiye's defense sector was mostly about assembling foreign weapons under license, exporting less than $200 million annually, barely a ripple on the global arms market. Today, Turkiye exports drones worldwide, launches its own communication satellites, builds its own naval vessels, and designs advanced fifth-generation fighter jets. How did this transformation happen, and who are the players behind the meteoric rise? I'm Afzal Ahmed, and this is Aloud from TRT Global Podcasts. This episode, we're diving into the remarkable rise of Turkiye's defense industry based on several articles published in July after the International Defense Industry Fair, or IDEF 2025, was held in Istanbul. For decades, Turkiye was heavily reliant on foreign arms imports. The shift you're hearing about was born from a strategic national vision to reduce this dependence, especially after several embargoes and export denials going back to the 1970s. The result is a homegrown lineup of air, land, sea, missile, and electronic systems that are now competitive on the world stage. And the strategy is clearly working. The country now ranks among the top global arms exporters, with products being sold to over 100 nations, including NATO and EU members. Back in the early 2000s, Turkiye's annual defense exports were less than $200 million. But the story changed step by step. By 2019, exports had already passed $3 billion, and that's when the real surge began. In 2022, the exports hit $4.4 billion. Then in 2023, Turkiye broke new ground with $5.5 billion in sales, fueled by global demand for its advanced drones, smart ammunition, and armoured vehicles. But the biggest leap came in 2024, when the industry made headlines by exporting nearly $7.2 billion, an incredible 30% jump in a single year. Turkish Trade Minister Ömer Bolat stated in July 2025 that exports were expected to easily exceed $8 billion in 2025. At IDEF 2025, Belgium's Defense Minister Theo Franken expressed a strong desire to work more with Turkiye. Here's what he had to say.
Turkiye is a role model. They really invest. They're doing a lot of innovation, technology, the drones, the counter-drones, the laser technology. It's incredible. And that's why I'm here, to express my deepest warmth and greetings, to express my feelings about the fact that Turkiye is a very reliable partner, a very important partner to NATO. And on the bilateral level, we have exercises together. We are within NATO. We do things together, but it is too few.
Beyond Europe, Turkiye's defense trade portfolio is diversifying quickly. Leading recipients of Turkish arms exports include the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Pakistan. Saudi Arabia is also becoming one of its major clients. The country's presence in Africa is also on the rise, with combat helicopters delivered to Nigeria and Bayraktar drones, surveillance systems, armoured vehicles, and military training and support supplied to countries such as Niger, Ethiopia, Somalia, Burkina Faso, and Togo, among others. Turkiye is now one of the top 5 arms suppliers to sub-Saharan Africa. Turkiye's arms diplomacy is also making strides in Asia and the Pacific. At IDEF 2025, Indonesia became the first international customer for the new Khan 5th-generation fighter jet, signing a deal for 48 units. And in Malaysia, Turkish shipyards are now constructing Ada-class corvettes for the Navy. Even Latin America is beginning to feature in Turkiye's arms diplomacy, with new defense agreements signed with Brazil, El Salvador, and Bolivia. This success is no accident. It's the result of a deliberate, long-term strategy focused on domestic development and heavy investment in research and development, over $1.5 billion annually. And Turkey's defense market size is anticipated to reach almost $59 billion by 2035. This rapid growth has also brought remarkable self-sufficiency. According to officials, Turkey now handles more than 80% of its own defense production, a massive leap from just 20% in the early 2000s. The industry now boasts over 3,500 companies, more than 90,000 employees, and an annual turnover of $20 billion, managing nearly 1,400 projects. So who are the companies behind this rise? First, we have Baykar, the superstar drone maker. They're globally famous for the Bayraktar TB2 drones, which have been proven in conflicts around the world, in Ukraine, Libya, Karabakh, and in Syria. In Ukraine, the drone has become a symbol of national resistance, with a patriotic song made in its honor. In 2023 alone, Baykar accounted for nearly $2 billion of Turkey's defense exports, cementing its place as a leader in the global drone market. But they aren't stopping there. Baykar is also developing the advanced Bayraktar Akinci and the jet-powered unmanned combat aircraft, the Bayraktar Kızılelma. In a big move to expand internationally, Baykar also announced the acquisition of Italy's Piaggio Aerospace in December 2024. Then there's the tech brain giant Aselsan, making radars, electronic warfare systems, and communications for all branches of Turkey's military. At IDEF 2025, they showcased several new innovations. The Göksur VLS, a naval point defense missile system designed to protect warships from a wide range of aerial threats. The Deringoz 100L-300 autonomous underwater vehicle, engineered for long-endurance missions. And the Cenk 350N, a naval multi-function radar system that provides 360-degree coverage for warships. Aselsan is also investing some $600 million in new facilities to produce cutting-edge technology like photon detectors and smart ammunition. They're also a key component to Turkey's ambitious national air defense system, the Steel Dome, which was first announced in 2024. Moving on to aircraft, we have Turkish Aerospace Industries, or TAI. This is a key player in both manned and unmanned platforms, from helicopters to fighter jets. TAI's impressive portfolio includes the T-129 attack helicopter, Hurkush basic trainer and light attack aircraft, and Anka UAVs primarily designed for reconnaissance and surveillance missions. But the crown jewel is the next-gen 5th-generation stealth fighter, the Khan, which is aiming for a 2028 debut and is already drawing strong attention from prospective export markets. Roketsan is the missile maestro. Their products are already in service with the Turkish military and others around the world. At IDEF 2025, Roketsan unveiled 6 new systems, including a highly anticipated hypersonic ballistic missile. At 10 meters long, the Typhoon Block 4 is estimated to be able to strike from at least 1,000 kilometers away. Hypersonic missiles are incredibly fast, traveling at over 5 times the speed of sound. Roketsan also debuted the Akata Capsule Atmaca, a submarine-launched version of the Atmaca anti-ship missile, and the Gökbora, Turkey's first beyond visual range air-to-air missile. It allows it to maintain high speed and energy over long distances, giving it a very wide no-escape zone for enemy aircraft. They also showcased the Eren multi-role loitering munition, a kamikaze drone, and the 300 ER ballistic missile system designed to be carried by fighter jets and armed drones, allowing them to launch a ballistic missile with a range of over 500 kilometers. Lastly, the Simsek-2 satellite launch vehicle, designed to put small satellites into orbit. For land vehicles, there is BMC as a leading manufacturer. At IDEF 2025, they unveiled 3 new military vehicles, the Turan 4x4 armoured cargo and personnel carrier, and the heavy-duty and multi-wheeled Zeybek 8x8 armoured recovery and tank carrier vehicles. They also showcased their multi-wheeled Aloud 8x8 armoured combat vehicle with a brand new gun turret, which they've dubbed the Tank Hunter. On a major project, BMC announced that the long-awaited Altay main battle tank, Turkiye's first domestically designed main battle tank, is nearing completion. Another major player, Otokar, is making ground with its new armoured vehicles in both domestic and export markets. In the naval arena, SDM is making waves, showcasing a model of Turkiye's first domestically designed naval light attack vessel, an offensive warship designed for speed at IDEF 2025. SDM also recently signed an important agreement in December 2024 to build 2 fleet replenishment ships for the Portuguese Navy, a deal that's likely to open the door for even more international partnerships. And it's not just the private sector innovating. Turkiye's own National Defense Ministry's R&D Center also unveiled 2 new aerial bombs at IDEF Istanbul. The first is Gazap, Turkiye's first and most powerful non-nuclear aerial bomb, with a warhead weighing 970 kilograms that can be dropped from an F-16. And the Neb-2 Ghost bunker buster bomb, also weighing in at 970 kilograms, is being claimed as the best in the field. In trials, it penetrated 7 meters of C-50 grade reinforced concrete, 3 times stronger than the concrete used in nuclear plant protection. For comparison, US bunker busters penetrate 2.4 meters of C-35 concrete. So why the global buzz? Turkish defense products are battle-tested, cost-effective, and delivered quickly, qualities in high demand worldwide. The country is now an important supplier of specific defense systems to European allies, a need that was amplified by the conflict in Ukraine. We're seeing European NATO members like Albania, Poland, and Romania already integrating Turkish drones into their military inventories. Late in 2024, Otokar also secured a contract with Romania for over 1,000 of its Cobra II 4x4 vehicles, with most of them being built locally. Turkiye's defense sector has completely shifted its role from buyer to builder to major exporter. As the country continues to develop its own engines, sensors, and integration capabilities, its defense industry seems poised to compete and set the terms in key military markets worldwide. That's all for this episode of Aloud. This episode was based on several articles published in July after the International Defense Industry Fair, or IDEF 25, was held in Istanbul. Thanks for listening.